Boundless water expanses of the world ocean harbor secrets in their dark depths that humanity has been unable to decipher for many centuries. Imagine this. 70% of our planet's surface is covered by water, and we have explored only a small fraction of this mysterious world. What lies hidden there in the impenetrable darkness, where sunlight does not reach? The Bermuda Triangle, which has swallowed dozens of ships and planes without a trace. Legends of the Flying Dutchman and other ghostly ships, doomed to wander the waves forever with their dead crews. Strange, inexplicable sounds recorded by deep-sea microphones. Perhaps the songs of unknown creatures or echoes of ancient civilizations that sank beneath the waves thousands of years ago. And what if I tell you that some underwater objects detected by modern sonars defy scientific explanation? Today, we will delve into the most terrifying and inexplicable mysteries of the ocean, about which many prefer to remain silent. Prepare yourselves. Some of these stories will make you look at the marine element in a completely different light. The first of these mysteries draws us to the enigmatic region of the Atlantic Ocean known as the Bermuda Triangle, a place where reality seems to thin out and the laws of physics cease to apply. This ominous maritime area, bounded by the Bermuda Islands, the coast of Florida, and Puerto Rico, has claimed more than 500 ships and aircraft over the past 2 centuries, swallowing thousands of human lives into the abyss of the inexplicable. What happens in these cursed waters? Let us recall December 5, 1945, when 5 torpedo bombers of the US Navy, part of Flight 19, vanished without a trace during a training mission. 14 experienced pilots disappeared into thin air, as if they had never existed. The last words transmitted over the radio still send a chill down the spine. Everything looks strange. Even the ocean isn't like this. We're entering white water. We're completely disoriented. And the rescue seaplane, Martin Mariner, sent to look for them? It too vanished, taking with it another 13 people. Not a single piece of debris, oil slick or body. Nothing. It's as if an invisible force erases all material from our reality here. And the mysterious fate of the cargo ship Cyclops, with 300 sailors on board? In 1918, this Leviathan simply dissolved into the warm Caribbean waters, not even sending a distress signal. Did the captain, an experienced sailor with 20 years of service, fail to notice the approaching danger? Or did this danger arise so suddenly that there was no time even to cry for help? Scientists offer various explanations for these chilling disappearances. Some point to sudden methane gas releases from the ocean floor. Huge bubbles of methane hydrates rising from the depths, capable of instantly depriving a ship of buoyancy. Others cite unusual magnetic anomalies that disrupt navigational instruments and disorient pilots. There are hypotheses about giant rogue waves appearing out of nowhere on calm days. But why then are there no wreckage? Where do the bodies of the dead go? Some researchers dare to propose more audacious theories about temporary portals opening in this region, about underwater bases of unknown civilizations, about vortices of the space-time continuum. Local residents tell of strange water luminescence before disappearances, of inexplicable electrical phenomena, of compasses spinning wildly. Captains who have traversed these waters speak of sudden disorientation, loss of satellite connection, and clocks showing incorrect time. What is most astonishing is that many disappearances occur under ideal weather conditions, in complete calm, when nothing foretells danger. In the 2000s, despite modern GPS navigation and satellite communication technologies, ships continued to vanish mysteriously in this area. Recent research of the seabed in the Triangle has revealed strange geometric structures resembling artificial constructions, natural formations or remnants of an ancient civilization. Science still cannot provide a definitive answer as to why exactly these anomalies occur in this part of the ocean. Perhaps the Bermuda Triangle is just a window into a much larger mystery connected to our planet. After all, similar anomalous zones have been discovered in other parts of the world ocean. Speaking of mysterious places in the ocean, it is impossible not to remember the greatest enigma of antiquity, whose name sounds like a spell, awakening in every researcher an insatiable thirst for discovery: Atlantis. This phantom continent, described by Plato in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias over 2,300 years ago, continues to captivate us from the ocean depths with its mysteries and untold treasures of lost knowledge. The great philosopher spoke of a mighty civilization that had existed 9,000 years before his time. An island larger than Libya and Asia combined, located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, today's Strait of Gibraltar. But what is particularly intriguing about this ancient account? Plato describes Atlantis with remarkable detail. Concentric canals surrounding the capital, magnificent temples adorned with silver and gold, bridges over waterways, shipyards filled with triremes. The Atlanteans, according to him, possessed technologies far ahead of their time, created a perfect irrigation system, built architectural wonders, and ruled a vast empire stretching to Egypt and Tyrrhenia. But then, in one fateful day and one terrible night, as Plato writes, there were great earthquakes and floods, and in one day and night, the island of Atlantis disappeared, sinking into the sea. Could such a developed civilization have existed at the dawn of human history? And if so, where did it vanish, leaving no obvious traces? Modern scientists offer numerous theories about the possible location of the sunken continent. Some point to Santorini, an island in the Aegean Sea, where around 1600 BC, a catastrophic volcanic eruption destroyed the Minoan civilization on Crete. The volcanic explosion, 500 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, caused tsunamis up to 100 meters high, which devastated the coasts of the Mediterranean. Was this event, distorted over centuries of oral retelling, the basis for the Platonic myth? Other researchers direct their gaze to the Atlantic Ocean. Underwater expeditions have discovered strange structures off the coast of Cuba, resembling flooded cities with a regular street layout. Deep-sea scanning has revealed mysterious geometric formations near the Azores. Stone walls and stepped terraces, too regular to be natural. What if we are looking in the wrong place? Some theorists point to Antarctica, suggesting that this icy continent once lay in warmer latitudes and was home to a developed civilization before a catastrophic shift in the Earth's crust moved it to the South Pole. The mysterious map of Peary Race, created in the 16th century, shows the coastline of Antarctica without ice cover, 3 centuries before the continent's official discovery. Where did ancient cartographers get these details? What if this is the legacy of Atlantean knowledge passed down through the centuries? An even more daring hypothesis links Atlantis to the Nazca Plateau in Peru, where giant geoglyphs visible only from the air seem to indicate the existence of a civilization with air travel technology. Local legends speak of viracochas, white-skinned bearded men who came from the sea and brought knowledge of astronomy, architecture, and medicine. Were these mysterious teachers the surviving Atlanteans? Modern technologies allow us to peer deeper into the ocean's abyss. LiDAR scanning of the seabed and satellite gravimetry reveal new anomalies that require explanation. In 2000, an international expedition discovered strange structures at a depth of 700 meters off the coast of Cyprus, resembling man-made columns and walls. Ocean currents could not have created such regular forms. Who built these structures and how did they end up underwater? Perhaps the answer to the riddle of Atlantis lies not in a specific geographical location, but in the collective memory of humanity about a golden age lost due to a natural catastrophe. Or did Plato indeed describe a real civilization, whose traces we have not yet been able to interpret correctly? As long as the ocean keeps its secrets, and each new discovery spawns dozens of new questions, the search continues. And perhaps one day we will hear the voice of Atlantis calling us from the ocean depths to tell its true story. The ocean depths hold not only the secrets of vanished civilizations, but also mysterious zones where the familiar laws of nature seem to cease functioning, and ships and aircraft vanish without a trace into the abyss of water and time. If the Bermuda Triangle has become a kind of business card of unexplained maritime phenomena in the Western Hemisphere, then on the other side of the globe, along the eastern coasts of Asia, there lies an equally ominous anomaly, the Devil's Sea, or as the Japanese call it, the Dragon's Triangle. This enigmatic region, located in the Pacific Ocean to the southeast of Japan, between the islands of Honshu, Luzon, and the Bonin Islands, has been collecting its grim toll of ships and human lives for centuries. Ancient Japanese legends speak of a sea dragon dwelling in these waters and luring ships into its underwater realm. Fishermen and sailors have long avoided these accursed places, where water sometimes boils without apparent cause, and strange mists and lights appear on the surface, seemingly beckoning travelers to their doom. What makes the story of the Devil's Sea particularly intriguing is that in 1954, the Japanese government officially recognized this zone as hazardous to navigation after a research vessel. The Kaiyo Maru No. 5, with a crew of 31 people on board, disappeared while studying volcanic activity in the area. Ironically, the ship was sent precisely to unravel the mystery of the numerous disappearances in these waters, but it became part of the enigma itself. The search operation found no wreckage, no signs of a crash or distress signals. It was as if the ship had dissolved into the oceanic depths. What could have happened to a modern research vessel equipped with advanced equipment and communication systems? How could 31 experienced sailors vanish without a single distress signal? Some scientists link the anomalies of the Dragon's Triangle to intense tectonic activity in this region. Here, several tectonic plates converge, creating a zone of heightened seismic and volcanic activity. Underwater eruptions can cause sudden releases of vast amounts of methane, which, rising to the surface, reduces the water's density so much that ships lose buoyancy and sink instantly. But can this explain the disappearances of aircraft? In 1952, an American military transport aircraft, the C-54, with a crew of 10 people, vanished in the sky over the Devil's Sea without sending a distress signal. The search operation, involving dozens of ships and aircraft, found no trace of the crash. Other researchers point to strange magnetic anomalies in this area. Compasses often show incorrect directions and electronic equipment malfunctions. Japanese fishermen report sudden, unexplained engine and navigation system failures, after which ships are swept into the heart of the sinister triangle. Local legends also speak of strange atmospheric phenomena, sudden mists appearing on clear days and mysterious glowing objects hovering above the sea. Fishermen describe cases where time seemed to slow down or speed up in these waters. Clocks showed incorrect times, and a journey that should have taken several hours was completed in minutes or, conversely, stretched out over a day. What if the Devil's Sea is a kind of portal to another dimension, a temporal gateway through which ships and aircraft are transported to parallel realities? This hypothesis may seem fantastic, but it is no more incredible than the fact of modern ships with crews vanishing without a trace. In 1958, the renowned Japanese writer and researcher of paranormal phenomena, Sogo Nakamura, published a book called Devil's Sea, in which he compiled dozens of eyewitness accounts and documentary evidence of strange events in this area. He proposed a daring theory that there might be a sunken city or even a base of an extraterrestrial civilization on the bottom of the Devil's Sea, creating a powerful energy field that affects ships and aircraft. As fantastic as this may sound, underwater research has indeed discovered strange structures on the seafloor in this region, resembling artificial constructions, staircase terraces, rectangular platforms, and even structures resembling pyramids. Are these formations natural geological features or the remnants of an ancient civilization? And if they are man-made, who and when created them? The Devil's Sea continues to reap its harvest even today. According to some estimates, over 1,000 ships of various sizes have disappeared without a trace in the last 100 years. And although modern navigation and communication technologies have made maritime travel significantly safer, unexplained disappearances still occur. In 2000, a yacht with 4 experienced sailors on board vanished in clear weather and calm seas. The last radio message was routine. The captain reported a smooth passage of the route. An hour later, the communication was lost, and no one ever saw the yacht or its crew again. What secrets does the Dragon's Triangle hide in its mysterious depths? Why does this zone continue to attract misfortune despite all warnings and technological progress? Perhaps the answer lies at the intersection of geology, oceanography, and quantum physics. Or maybe we are dealing with a phenomenon that transcends contemporary science. As long as the Devil's Sea keeps its secrets, it remains one of the most ominous and unexplained mysteries of the world's oceans, reminding us that even in the era of space travel and artificial intelligence, our planet harbors mysteries that defy rational explanation. If the depths of the ocean keep their secrets, then the surface of the ocean is no less mysterious, teeming with enigmatic phenomena. Among these, the legend of the Flying Dutchman, a ghostly wanderer of the seas, holds a special place. This mystical tale, passed down through generations of sailors around the world, has become a symbol of maritime superstitions and unsolved oceanic mysteries. According to the most widespread version of the legend, in the 17th century, a Dutch captain named Hendrik van der Decken, commanding a merchant ship, was sailing from Amsterdam to the East Indies when his ship encountered a terrible storm off the Cape of Good Hope. Instead of showing prudence and waiting out the storm, the stubborn and harsh captain ordered the crew to continue, despite their pleas and fear. According to one version, in the midst of the storm, a mysterious passenger appeared on the deck. a figure some claim to be the devil himself, who offered to help navigate the storm. In a fit of pride or despair, the captain struck a deal with dark forces, swearing to sail around the Cape until the end of time, even if it took eternity. According to another version, when the crew mutinied, demanding to turn back, the captain, in a rage, shouted, "I will pass this Cape even if I have to sail until the day of judgment." These blasphemous words were heard by higher powers, and at that moment, a terrible curse was placed on the ship, eternal wandering at sea, never reaching shore, with a crew of the dead on board. Since then, according to the legend, the ghostly ship with tattered sails and an unnatural glowing hull appears in various corners of the world's oceans, most often during storms and in poor visibility. It is especially frequently observed in the vicinity of the Cape of Good Hope, the place where the captain challenged the elements and the gods. What makes the story of the Flying Dutchman particularly intriguing is the numerous accounts of encounters with it, collected over centuries. One of the most famous and well-documented cases is the observation made by the crew of the British ship Baktchisarai in 1851. In the ship's log, it was recorded, "At 2 o'clock in the morning, the watch officer and several sailors observed a strange ship approaching at high speed, despite the calm and lack of wind. The vessel emitted a ghostly glow and passed so close that we could distinguish figures on the deck. They moved as if performing ordinary maritime tasks, but their movements were mechanical, inhuman. The captain, a tall man with a pale face and burning eyes, stood on the bridge, holding something resembling an old spyglass. When the ship passed by, we heard strange sounds, neither moans nor singing in an unknown language. After a few minutes, the ship dissolved into the fog, although the sky was clear. Notably, 3 days after this encounter, Baktchisarai was caught in a fierce storm and nearly sank, losing 2 crew members. This confirms another ominous belief associated with the Flying Dutchman. Encounters with it always portend misfortune, often shipwrecks or the loss of crew members. Maritime tradition holds that if the ghostly ship tries to communicate with a passing vessel, one should under no circumstances respond or accept anything from its deck. Any contact with the cursed ship can spread the curse to the encountering vessel. Interestingly, in the 19th century, during the heyday of the sailing fleet, reports of encounters with the Flying Dutchman were so numerous and caused such fear among sailors that the British Admiralty even issued a special circular, instructing commanders of naval ships to record such observations in ship logs with maximum detail. One of the most famous witnesses of the appearance of the ghostly ship was the future King George V, who, as a young naval officer on the Bacchant in 1881, along with 12 crew members, observed a strange red glow from a ship with ghostly sails off the coast of Australia. Notably, the lookout who first spotted the Flying Dutchman fell from the mast and died the next day, another confirmation of the ghostly ship's ominous reputation. There are also modern accounts of encounters with the mysterious ship. In 1939, the crew of a German training ship, Pader, reported observing an old sailing ship moving against the wind and suddenly disappearing, as if dissolving into thin air. And in 2004, a group of tourists on a cruise liner off the coast of South Africa photographed a strange glow on the horizon that, upon magnification, resembled the outlines of an old sailing ship. Skeptics, of course, explain all these observations as optical illusions, mirages, or hallucinations caused by fatigue and seasickness. The phenomenon of fata morgana, a complex mirage where distant objects appear distorted, can indeed create the impression of flying ships, especially in unusual light refraction over the ocean's surface. But can this explain all encounters with the Flying Dutchman, especially those where it was seen by dozens of people simultaneously? According to another version of the legend, the curse of the Flying Dutchman can only be lifted when Captain Van der Decken finds a woman who voluntarily agrees to share his fate and remains faithful to him until the end. This romantic interpretation of the legend found expression in Richard Wagner's opera The Flying Dutchman, where the captain receives the right to go ashore once every 7 years to find a woman who can redeem his sins with her love and loyalty. But will the cursed captain ever find peace? Or is his fate to eternally wander the boundless expanses of the ocean, appearing before terrified sailors as a harbinger of doom and a reminder that even in our technological age, the sea remains a realm of mysteries and dangers? Beyond human control, this enigma, like many other maritime mysteries, remains unsolved, continuing to stir the imagination and remind us that the boundary between reality and legend, between scientific knowledge and mystical experience often becomes blurred, especially when it comes to the boundless expanses of the world's oceans. But not only in the depths of the ocean and on its surface are hidden unsolved mysteries, the land also harbors its secrets, and one of the most intriguing is located on a small island off the eastern coast of Canada. Oak Island, situated in Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia, has been captivating treasure seekers for over 2 centuries with its main enigma, the mysterious Money Pit, a deep shaft-like structure said to conceal untold riches protected by a complex system of traps and perhaps an ancient curse. The story of this enigma began in 1795, when a young man named Daniel McGuinness discovered a strange depression in the ground under an old oak tree with cut branches and marks on the trunk, clear signs of past activity. Intrigued, McGuinness and 2 companions began digging and soon found that the pit went deep underground, with every 3 meters blocked by a layer of oak planks. This was just the first in a series of discoveries that turned Oak Island into one of the most famous archaeological mysteries in North America. As excavations continued, first by enthusiasts and then by well-funded expeditions, it became clear that the Money Pit was an incredibly complex engineering structure. At a depth of about 30 meters, researchers found a layer of charcoal, then a layer of pitch, then coconut fiber. Remarkable considering that coconut palms grow thousands of kilometers away from Nova Scotia. And below that, a mysterious stone slab with strange symbols carved into it, interpreted by some to mean 40 feet below lie 2 million pounds. But the most astonishing feature of the construction was a cunning flooding system. When a certain depth was reached, the shaft began to fill with seawater through a network of skillfully designed side tunnels connecting the Money Pit to the ocean. This system was so effective that despite over 200 years of attempts, no one has been able to reach the supposed treasure, although the island has attracted even such notable figures as the future US President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who in his youth was a member of one of the Oak Island treasure hunting companies. But what might be hidden in the mysterious shaft? There are countless theories. Some researchers believe it could contain the treasures of famous pirates like Blackbeard or Captain Kidd. Others claim it holds the jewels of the French crown, smuggled out of revolutionary France. There is a theory that the shaft hides the archives and treasures of the Templars, or perhaps even the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. More exotic hypotheses suggest hidden manuscripts by Shakespeare, supposedly proving that Francis Bacon was the true author of the plays, or evidence of extraterrestrial civilizations. What is particularly intriguing about this story is the incredible complexity of the Money Pit construction. Who and why would create such a sophisticated system to protect a treasure? By the most conservative estimates, constructing the shaft with its numerous traps and tunnels would have taken years of work and enormous resources. Is the treasure so valuable that it justifies such expenses? And most importantly, why has no one been able to solve this mystery in over 2 centuries of intensive searches? Perhaps it's not just the engineering obstacles, but also a malevolent curse that, according to local legends, guards the treasure. Over the years of digging on Oak Island, at least 6 people have died. From accidents, poisoning by toxic gases in the shaft, and other mysterious circumstances. Local legend says that 7 must die before the treasure is found. If this is true, the curse is almost fulfilled. But even if we disregard the mystical explanations, the fact remains. The Money Pit of Oak Island continues to keep its secret, despite the use of the most modern technologies, including underwater robots, georadars, and complex drilling equipment. In 2014, strange metallic objects and fragments of parchment with illegible inscriptions were found on the island, further fueling interest in the mystery. There is even a theory that the Money Pit is a decoy, and the real treasure is hidden elsewhere on the island. Whatever the case, Oak Island remains one of the most captivating unsolved mysteries of our world, reminding us that even in the era of high technology and comprehensive information, there are still mysteries that can withstand humanity's persistent efforts to unravel their secrets. And who knows, perhaps the curse of Oak Island truly exists, guarding something so valuable or dangerous that it should not fall into human hands. Or maybe the greatest value of this enigma lies in the very mystery itself, in the thrilling sense of the unknown it gives us, reminding us of the times of great discoveries and unexplored territories in our increasingly predictable world. Let us for a moment leave the mysterious Oak Island and turn our gaze to the silent witnesses of the past, hidden beneath the thick layers of seawater, sunken cities and ruins that hold the secrets of long-lost civilizations. Perhaps the most intriguing of such discoveries is the enigmatic underwater monument off the coast of the Japanese island of Yonaguni, a colossal stone structure discovered in 1987 by diver Kiichiro Aratake. This monumental structure, resembling a stepped pyramid with terraces, platforms, and even something akin to roads, evokes awe with its perfect right angles and smooth surfaces. Is this a creation of human hands? If so, who were these mysterious builders, and when did they create this monument? According to geological data, this area could have been above sea level for no less than 10,000 years ago, casting us back to the time of the last ice age, long before the rise of the ancient civilizations we know. Some researchers, including Professor Masaki Kimura, after years of diving, claim to have found traces of stonework, steps, columns, and even carved bas-reliefs resembling human faces on the monument. Others insist that this is a whimsical play of nature, the result of natural erosion and tectonic processes. But if we accept the hypothesis of artificial origin, then an intriguing possibility arises. Are these ruins evidence of a highly advanced civilization that flourished at the end of the Ice Age and perished due to a catastrophic rise in sea level? Are these not the ruins of the legendary Atlantis, whose tales have spread across the world? And is the Yonaguni monument just the tip of the iceberg, one of many sunken cities of this legendary civilization? For similar enigmatic structures have been found in other parts of the world. Off the coast of the Indian city of Mahabalipuram, after the devastating tsunami of 2004, ruins of temples and other buildings were found, descending into the ocean depths. Local legends have long spoken of the 7 pagodas, 6 of which were swallowed by the sea. And now, it seems, these legends have found material confirmation. And what of the underwater city of Pavlopetri, off the coast of Greece, estimated to be 5,000 years old? Here, just a few meters below the surface, archaeologists discovered an entire city with streets, buildings, and even a cemetery. Or the mysterious structures off the coast of Cuba, discovered using a hydrolocator at depths of over 700 meters. Giant pyramids and other geometrically precise structures that, if they are indeed of artificial origin, must have been underwater for at least 15,000 years. What is particularly intriguing about these underwater finds is their connection to the myths and legends of different peoples. Practically every ancient culture has tales of a great flood that destroyed a previous civilization. From the biblical story of Noah to the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh, from Indian Puranas to the legends of Native Americans, everywhere we find echoes of a catastrophe linked to water. Could all these myths have a real historical basis? Perhaps at the end of the last ice age, when vast masses of ice were rapidly melting, raising the level of the world's oceans, there indeed existed a developed civilization whose cities one by one were swallowed by the sea? Imagine the drama of this situation. People who had reached a high level of development helplessly watch as the sea inexorably engulfs their world. Perhaps it was this catastrophe that gave birth to the numerous legends of the flood, preserved in the collective memory of humanity. But if such a civilization existed, why do we not find other traces of its presence? Besides these enigmatic underwater structures, where are their technologies, their writing, their art? Or are all these artifacts also lying at the bottom of the ocean, awaiting their time? Or perhaps we simply do not know how to recognize the traces of this ancient culture, so different from everything we know? Modern technologies of underwater archaeology are gradually lifting the veil of secrecy from these enigmatic ruins. The use of advanced methods of seabed mapping, underwater robots, and three-dimensional modeling allows researchers to study these objects with unprecedented detail. But each new discovery seems to raise more questions than answers. Perhaps the key to unraveling the mystery of the sunken cities lies not only in the depths of the sea, but also in the ancient texts that we have not yet learned to interpret correctly, or in the genetic memory of humanity, preserving echoes of that distant catastrophe. Whatever the case, these silent underwater witnesses of the past continue to attract researchers, reminding us of the fragility of human civilizations in the face of natural forces, and that the history of our species may be much longer and more complex than we are accustomed to think. And who knows what other amazing discoveries await us in the depths of the ocean, the last unexplored frontier of our planet. This is not the only mystery hidden in the boundless depths of the oceans. Let us turn our attention to the more sinister and mystical aspects of the sea. the legends of sea monsters that have terrified and fascinated humanity for centuries. The horror from the depths, as told in ancient tales, sends a shiver down the spine of anyone who has gazed into the abyssal waters. Have you ever wondered what could be hidden behind these stories? Legends of kraken, giant sea serpents, and other monsters are not just the product of sailors' imagination, but perhaps reflections of real creatures dwelling in the unexplored depths. Recall the ancient sea myths that mention the kraken, a monster capable of swallowing an entire ship and dragging it to the bottom of the ocean. But what if these stories are based on real encounters with giant squids, which, as we know, can reach astronomical sizes? There are also more modern accounts of such encounters. For example, in 2006, an unusual discovery was made in the waters of New Zealand. A giant squid over 10 meters long, caught on camera. How could sailors, unfamiliar with the biology of these creatures, interpret their observations? Perhaps it is from their accounts of encounters with these monsters that the legends of kraken and other sea monsters were born. But how to explain the mentions of giant serpents that, according to legends, could inhabit the darkest and deepest corners of the ocean? Such creatures are found in many cultures, from Norse sagas to the myths of Native American tribes. Some researchers suggest that these tales may be linked to real observations of large creatures, such as giant eels or other deep-sea fish, about which we know so little. How could these observations have turned into myths about serpents capable of swimming through the water? This raises the question, perhaps we are only scratching the surface of what lies beneath the waves. And what about the stories of mysterious creatures that, according to sailors' beliefs, could predict storms or serve as omens of disaster? These stories, filled with mysticism and fear, again raise the question, what is really hidden in the ocean's abyss? Does it make sense to seek the truth among the myths if even the most modern technologies cannot fully explore the depths of the sea? Some scientists suggest that the ocean may be home to creatures that could be not only real, but also completely unique, with no terrestrial counterparts. For example, underwater research has revealed many new species that seem otherworldly. How can we be sure that among them are not those that became the basis for legends? Each new species discovered in the deep waters opens up a new abyss of questions. Perhaps this is just a hint that the ocean is full of mysteries that still need to be solved. But what are the limits of our understanding? Maybe the legends of sea monsters are not just images of the past, but reflections of our fear of the unknown. And even if we do not find evidence of the existence of these creatures, the question remains open. What else does the ocean hide? How many more wonders and horrors await us in its boundless depths? Can we ever unravel the secrets that have long been buried under the water's surface? Perhaps the true nature of sea legends lies in humanity's desire to understand what cannot be explained and in the search for answers to questions that may never be fully answered. Unidentified submerged objects, or USOs, represent yet another mystery shrouded in an enigmatic veil, like shadows gliding in the depths of the ocean. How often do we hear about these mysterious encounters when witnesses, filled with bewilderment and confusion, recount strange glowing objects that move with incredible speed underwater, leaving behind only mysterious traces? For instance, in 2005, a group of researchers in the waters of the Pacific Ocean encountered something that, according to their accounts, resembled a massive disk, which quickly dove into the depths, leaving behind a trail of circular water ripples. How can such phenomena be explained? Are they the result of military experiments or something far more mysterious? Some theorists claim that USOs could be manifestations of extraterrestrial presence, possibly studying our planet while hiding from our view. But how is this possible if we still lack clear evidence of the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations? There are also numerous reports of military forces from various countries having recorded strange underwater maneuvers that defy explanation. Could these objects be the result of secret developments of which we are unaware? How could it be that technologies we considered impossible already exist, hidden from the public? And is it not suspicious that such observations often occur near military bases and test ranges? Could these USOs be pawns in a larger game of which we are not even aware? But these are not the only theories to consider. Some researchers suggest that these objects could be manifestations of unknown natural phenomena that remain beyond our understanding. What influence can ocean depths have on physical laws that we consider immutable? Consider examples where underwater volcanoes created unusual geometric shapes in water that could easily be mistaken for artificial structures. What are the limits of our understanding of nature if even the most experienced scientists encounter mysteries that defy explanation? These questions may not have definitive answers, but they remain an integral part of our quest to unravel the mysteries of the ocean depths. With each new report of USOs, we are faced with the thought that the ocean may not only be home to extraordinary creatures, but also a repository of many other secrets. How many more mysteries lie hidden beneath the water's surface, waiting to be revealed? Can we ever truly understand the nature of these phenomena? Or will we forever remain prisoners of our own conjectures and speculations? One thing is clear. Unexplained submerged objects are just another layer in the multi-layered fabric of mysteries that surround our world. And in this ocean of unsolved enigmas, perhaps we are merely at the surface, ready for the next dive into the unknown depths, where each movement could be a key to understanding what awaits us in the future. Mysterious sounds from ocean depths, the voice of the abyss. While we strive to unravel the mysteries of unexplained underwater objects, another enigma of the ocean depths has captured the attention of researchers. The enigmatic sounds that, like calls from the abyss, penetrate our world. One of the most famous such sounds is the phenomenon known as bloop. In 2006, when scientists recorded this powerful sound, many were puzzled by its source. The sound, recorded at a depth of more than 3,000 kilometers, seemed to suggest that something or someone could be producing it in the heart of the ocean. How could it be that, with all our modern technology, we cannot explain the origin of such sounds? What is the nature of the bloop? Some researchers suggest that it might be the result of geological activity, such as the movement of tectonic plates or underwater volcanoes that suddenly awaken, creating deafening sounds. But what if it's not that simple? What if the bloop is a manifestation of something more mysterious and incomprehensible? There are theories that this sound could originate from large marine creatures that remain beyond our understanding. How many more unknown inhabitants could be hidden in the boundless depths of the ocean? Could these creatures have the ability to produce sounds that we cannot interpret with our current knowledge? Consider the examples of giant squids or mysterious creatures like the giant squid, which have amazed people with their size and behavior. But that's not all. Research has shown that the ocean is filled with other powerful sounds, from the cracking of ice in polar regions to strange, unexplained noises that are sometimes picked up by underwater microphones. Each of these sounds raises questions. What lies behind them, and what mysteries do they conceal? Some scientists consider the possibility that these sounds might be connected to unknown marine ecosystems that have not yet been discovered. But how can we draw conclusions when all these sounds remain unexplained? What is the true significance of these mysterious noises that permeate the ocean and may be evidence of the existence of worlds we don't even suspect? These questions lead us into endless debates about the nature of sound and its sources, and more importantly, about how much more is still unknown in the depths of our world. We are only beginning to realize that the ocean is not just a home for exotic creatures, but also a repository of ancient secrets waiting to be discovered. With each new discovery, we encounter the thought that the sounds of the ocean are not just noise, but a complex language that we have not yet learned to decipher. How many more mysteries lie hidden in these depths, waiting for the moment when someone can understand their message? Perhaps we are on the threshold of discovering something truly extraordinary, but for now, we remain prisoners of our own speculations and bewilderment. All that remains is this. The mysterious sounds of the ocean are another layer in the complex fabric of mysteries that surround our world, and we are only beginning to delve into its boundless depths, where each echo could be a key to understanding what lies ahead. Ghost islands, vanished lands. While mysterious ocean sounds continue to stir our imagination, let us turn our attention to other enigmatic aspects of seas and oceans, the ghost islands that once adorned old maps and now seem to have dissolved into the boundless blue. These mythical lands, mentioned in scholarly works and maritime atlases, raise many questions. How could they disappear, and what really happened to these mysterious territories? One of the most famous examples is the island of St. Brendan, a legendary land said to lie somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean and, according to legends, discovered by a monk in the 6th century. Despite numerous searches, modern researchers have yet to find it. Some suggest that St. Brendan was merely a cartographer's error based on oral traditions depicting non-existent places. But how could this happen? How could entire islands, based on travellers' accounts, never be found? Perhaps some of them did exist, but were victims of natural disasters. Volcanic activity, for instance, can submerge lands in minutes, and such cases have indeed occurred in history. There are many accounts of whole islands disappearing under waves, leaving only traces on maps and in sailors' memories. But this is not the only theory. Some researchers propose that ghost islands could be linked to sea level changes caused by global warming, which could also lead to the submersion of once thriving territories. But what if these lands were not just islands, but entire civilizations with extraordinary knowledge and technologies? How could it be that, with access to modern research tools, we still cannot explain their disappearance? Perhaps we simply do not know the whole truth about ancient peoples who might have established their societies in places now hidden beneath ocean waves. All these theories, from cartographic errors to vanished civilizations, only fuel our interest in the mysteries surrounding ghost islands. On old maps, one can see not only names, but also images that suggest these lands might have existed. Some are described as paradisiacal corners with blooming gardens and clear rivers, but what lies behind these visions? On the other hand, there are accounts from local residents who spoke of encounters with these islands, their culture, and how they vanished as suddenly as they appeared. Despite all efforts, the mystery of ghost islands remains unsolved. These vanished lands may hold the keys to understanding our past, and even today we can only guess how many more such secrets the ocean hides. How many unknown islands may lie beneath the surface, waiting for their stories to be told again? Who were their inhabitants, and what did they leave behind? These questions continue to plague researchers and enthusiasts of mysteries, and perhaps one day we will unravel the riddles that stubbornly resist our understanding. But for now, the secrets of ghost islands remain in the shadows, reminding us that our world's history is full of unexplored and mysterious corners waiting to be revealed. The ocean is not just an endless blue expanse. It is a mysterious abyss filled with unknown mysteries and chilling enigmas that continue to stir our imagination. For centuries, it has been a witness to countless events, many of which remain hidden from human eyes. We have spoken of phantom islands that have vanished, leaving behind only whispers of legends, and of sea creatures that may be waiting for their moment to reappear. But what do we truly know about the depths of the ocean? What are its secrets hidden beneath layers of water that are many meters thick? We only scratch the surface of this abyss, and each new fact, each new discovery, only fuels our curiosity. Could there be underwater cities that have never seen the light, or mysterious artifacts holding the knowledge of forgotten civilizations? What were the true causes of the disappearance of ships and entire fleets swallowed by the ocean? As we uncover these chilling stories, we realize that the ocean is not only a source of life, but also a place filled with dangers and mysteries that elude us. Each time we delve into its depths, we risk encountering something completely inexplicable, something that could forever change our understanding of the world. We invite you to share your most chilling sea stories or theories in the comments. Perhaps your words will become part of the next chapter in this endless tale of ocean mysteries. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to continue exploring the world of mysteries, where each new episode opens a door to the unknown. But remember,